Welcome back, my beautiful brats, where fashion gets analyzed, not romanticized. Fashion did not implode this week. It did something more interesting. It adjusted. Bankruptcies, digital experiments, recycled luxury, influencer creation, Asia First expansion, and New York Fashion Week, quietly reminding us it still matters. If you thought fashion was about clothes this week, you weren't paying attention. Quick note before we begin, we're talking fashion, business, and strategy, not glorifying systems, ignoring ethics, and pretending capitalism is couture. This is analysis, not endorsement. Now, let's truly get into the video. So, let's start with the headline everyone pretended not to get.
This morning, Saks Global, the parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue, has filed for bankruptcy. The move is setting up what could be the largest retail collapse in years.
Aziza Schuler is live outside the flagship store in Midtown. Aziza, it was just lit up for the holidays, and now this.
With billions of dollars in debt, slower sales, and strained relationships with the designers and brands that stock its shelves. Saks Global, which also owns Bergdorf Goodman and Neiman Marcus, says stores and websites will stay open, loyalty programs will still work, employees will be paid, and vendors will get their money. But the bigger issue is what pushed the company here in the first place.
Saks Global filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Pause. Severely. No, luxury is not dying, but yes, retail arrogance is. This isn't about taste, it's about structure. Department stores were built for a world where consumers needed gatekeepers. Today's luxury consumer does not want guidance, they want access, speed, exclusivity, and control. High luxury, mass prestige, experiential retail, cultural tastemaker, and when you try to be everything, you quietly become nothing. Enter Joffrey Van Ramdick, stepping into a CEO position, a restructuring move, not a panic one. This is Saks admitting the old model does not work anymore. Translation, luxury retail is no longer square footage. The CFDA dropped the New York Fashion Week schedule over 60 shows and presentations. Sound impressive? But here's what really matters. Who is showing and how? New York Fashion Week isn't fighting Paris or Milan anymore. It's fighting relevance. What we're seeing is a split. Established American brands doubling down on consistency. Emerging designers choosing intimacy over spectacle. And several names opting out entirely. That's not failure, that's evolution. Fashion Week used to be about dominance, now it's about control. They're playing chess, not chasing applause. New York Fashion Week doesn't need louder moments, it needs smarter. Now, let's talk about the headline some people laughed at and immediately underestimated. Digital fashion. Coach entered The Sims 4 digital fashion, virtual wearables, co-created items. Here's the thing. Coach isn't selling pixels, they're selling early loyalty. Gen Z doesn't discover brands through ads anymore. There's no print magazines, there's no people who are obsessed with the idea of eat, sleep, breathing fashion. They discover them through environments. If someone styles a Coach bag on a sim at age 14, guess who feels familiar at 24 when real money enters the chat? Exactly. This is not gimmicky, it's psychological branding, planting. Luxury brands who don't experiment digitally are exclusive. They're invisible. Coach understood the assignment. Adidas teased a curated by Molly May collection, and before anyone rolls their eyes, let's be clear. This is not about celebratory, it's about translation. Luxury and heritage brands are realizing something uncomfortable. Consumers trust people more than institutions. Molly May doesn't represent expertise, she represents accessibility with aspiration. Adidas isn't outsourcing designs, they're outsourcing reliability, and that's smart. Because in 2026, influence won't belong to the loudest voice, but the ones that feel more personal. This isn't dilution, this is delegation. Prada is launching a 3-part pop-up series in China for the Year of the Horse. And no, this is not seasonal novelty. This is Prada doing what a legacy house must. Designs with cultural context, not just sell into it. Asia is not an emerging market anymore. It's the center of luxury consumption growth. Prada isn't chasing hype, they're investing in symbolism, timing. Pop-ups aren't stores, they're statements, and Prada knows exactly where to place them. Boss debuted a Nova Poly recycled yarn worn at the Australian Open. And here's the truth no one says out loud, but I will. Sustainability isn't about ethics anymore. It's about legitimacy. If your brand cannot speak innovation, responsibility, and performance in the same sentence, you sound outdated. Spain launching a reward-based youth clothing program proves it further. So, what does this week in fashion actually tell us? That luxury is slimming down, that retail is restructuring, that digital isn't optional, that influence is shifting, and that sustainability is cost of an entry, not a bonus point. Fashion isn't collapsing, it's editing itself. And the brands who survive won't be the loudest, but they'll be the sharpest. If you're watching fashion seriously, this wasn't a quiet week, it was a warning. I'll see you next time. Same precision, less patience. Sincerely written in style, my beautiful brats, Mrs. October, aka the princess of fashion, the face of fashion, and the sole reason why there's an H in fashion. Haley Henderson. Stay kind creative for me.